We can also use these same data to test the null hypothesis of whether there's a difference between male height and female height, the height of men and women. So I'm going to use these same data to enter into statCrunch, but I want to go ahead to the test a null. What we're going to look at is a null of no difference. So our H0 is going to be that the mean height of men, or males, minus the mean height of females equals 0. So if we have an alternative, so for example we have no a priori, so no prior reason to suspect that men are taller than women, we'd set our alternative up as 0. So among children, before there's big height differences, this is our likely setup. Okay. Unlike proportions, we do not pool to get the standard error. This is the same thing I suggested on the previous video. We do not care if our standard deviations of 1 and 2 are the same or not. There are very limited situations that benefit from this, and it can cause great detriment. Those situations are beyond the scope of this class. So, what we're going to do is go over to statCrunch. I'm going to go to a fresh window, go stat, tstats, toSample, with summary, enter in our values again. So the mean height of men was 7 with a standard deviation of 3 inches and 22 individuals sampled. For women it was 67 with a standard deviation of 2 and a sample size of 3. Again, we uncheck pool variances. We want a hypothesis test this time. Okay, and here's where we can change it from something other than not equal to. But again, in almost every case we want that, so we get a two-tailed test. We click compute, and it gives us the values we might have calculated by hand. Standard error, degrees of freedom, our t-statistic, and a p-value. Note that this p-value is really, really small. This means that less than 1% of the time, so 0.02% of the time, we would get a difference this big or bigger if we did this type of sampling. This is unlikely to occur if the null is true, therefore we would reject our null hypothesis and say we no longer believe that men and women are the same height based on this sample.